In this video, I'm going to teach you how to identify a rare type of error that can be on any coin produced by the mint. A penny with this error was recently discovered on an old coin and sold for over $30,000. Hey, what's up, coin fam? You absolutely need to know how to identify this rare type of error. Finding one of these valuable coins is like hitting the lottery, but if you don't know what to look for, you'll never know if one of these coins slips through your fingers. We're going to talk about Brockage errors, how they happen, how to identify them, and how much they're worth. According to PCGS.com, a Brockage strike is a coin that's been struck with another struck coin impressed into it during the strike. The error-ref.com website has a more expansive definition of Brockage, as well as many different subtypes of Brockage errors. Our first Brockage error is this 1999 Philadelphia minted Lincoln cent. This penny was broad-struck. A broad-struck coin is when a coin is struck without the collar that retains the planchet. The lack of retaining collar causes the planchet to expand. In order for a coin to be considered broad-struck, the design of the coin must be centered. If it's not centered, it's considered an off-center strike. In addition to this penny being broad-struck, it was also struck with another penny in between the planchet. You can barely make out the mirrored image of E pluribus unum, and some of the other reverse details can be made out on the Brockage portion of this Lincoln cent. The reverse of this penny isn't nearly as chaotic as the obverse, but it's still obvious that this is an error coin. This penny was graded Mint State 61 red by Annex. I've seen Brockage coins sell for tens of thousands of dollars, and we'll talk about those later in the video. This penny sold at auction for $35. Here's an obvious error nickel. You can't tell from looking at the back of it, but flip it over and check out the obverse. Like Gwen Stefani, there is no doubt. There's no detail on this nickel at all. You can barely see the outline of Monticello. This is because another nickel ended up tail side down on the obverse of this planchet. When the planchet was struck, the die forced the other nickel into this planchet, leaving the vague imprint of the reverse of the nickel in place of Jefferson and the date he was supposed to have with him that day. This dateless Jefferson nickel was submitted to PCGS for grading and came back exactly how I would rate my wife. Extremely fine 45. This full Brockage obverse nickel sold at auction for $59. Here's another dateless Jefferson nickel. This coin was struck twice. The first time it was broad struck. You can see signs of the collarless strike by the distortion and lack of detail around the edge of the coin. The second strike occurred with another nickel between the die and the coin. We know it happened like this because of the mirrored details from the reverse of the other nickel stamped into this error coin. You can easily make out the words United States, 5 cents, and Monticello. This nickel is like a mullet. Despite the mess of a party on the front of this coin, the business is in the back. There's obvious distortion near the edge of this coin, but look at the crisp, clear detail of Monticello. This is a darn good reverse strike. Check out those stairs. If you've watched some of my other nickel videos, you know the importance of full steps and the FS designation that goes along with that level of detail. This Jefferson nickel was sent to NGC for grading and came back a Mint State 68 with the FS designation on a scale from 1 to 70. There's no date visible on this nickel, and it sold at auction for $218. Check out this dime. The mirror-like details on this dime might make you think that this is a Brockage error, but it's not. Let's take a closer look and dig into the details for this error dime. Here's the reverse. It doesn't look too bad. From this picture, it looks like we have some signs of wear. Under normal circumstances, Brockage would be the right explanation for this coin, but this isn't even a coin. What you see here is just the reverse clad layer. This is essentially the skin of the back of the dime, just a very thin layer of nickel. The rest of the dime is missing. Believe it or not, this clad layer was actually graded, and it came back Mint State 65. It sold at Heritage Auctions for $488. Here's a decent looking 1960 large date Lincoln cent. You can see a decent strike and not much wear. This penny was graded a mint state 62 brown by NGC. Here's the reverse. There's a fair amount of detail on the back of this penny, but it's not the Lincoln Memorial. You can see the reverse silhouette of Abraham Lincoln, the date, and Liberty. According to Heritage Auctions, this Brockage error was created when this planchet was struck by the obverse die and the obverse of the previously struck cent that was stuck to the reverse die. This penny was graded mint state 62 brown and sold at auction for $1,092. Coin errors happen on the smaller circulated coins, but they happen on the big boys as well. This is a 1964 Kennedy half dollar. The 64 half dollar is actually 90% silver. The obverse or front of this half dollar was broad struck. The reverse is a different story, and I have a few questions. Why is he looking the wrong way? Why is he on the back of the coin? And why does Kennedy look like he gained a little weight? The answer is Brockage. Another Kennedy half dollar found its way in between this planchet and the reverse die. The image from the other half dollar was pressed into the planchet as a mirror image, and the details were distorted and stretched out. What do you do when you find a coin like this? You have it graded, then you sell it. This Kennedy half dollar was submitted to PCGS and came back with a grade of mint state 65. This half dollar was put up for auction and sold for $2,100. Take a look at this poorly struck 1974 San Francisco minted Lincoln cent. The front of this penny is lacking so much detail. You can't make out all of the letters in the motto, "In God We Trust." The date and mint mark are very light, and most of the letters in Liberty can't even be seen. The detail of this Brockage strike is coming through much better than many of the obverse features. According to PCGS, a struck 1973 S coin and a blank planchet were fed into the press at the same time. This is how this reverse Brockage coin was born. This penny was submitted to NGC for grading, and it came back mint state 64 with a red-brown color designation. This penny sold at auction for $11,400. Here's a 1958 Washington proof quarter. It looks like a decent strike on the obverse, but not as good as you would expect of our current day proof coins. It graded proof 62 by PCGS. How about this reverse? This is one of the better struck Brockage error coins I've seen. Proof coins are quality controlled at several points in the process, so it's a little harder for something like this to make it out of the mint. The reverse image on this coin is the result of the coin being struck between the obverse die and the obverse of a previously struck quarter. This beautiful error quarter sold at auction for over $12,000. Of all the coins I collect, my favorite is the Eisenhower dollar. I love the weight of the coin, but I wouldn't want to carry too many of these around in my pocket. I don't have any Ike error coins in my collection. On this dollar coin, part of the word Liberty is cut off the edge of the coin because of the off-center strike. The "In God We Trust" motto is a little weak, and the date is even weaker. There are also a lot of gouges all over the obverse of this coin. Let's take a look at the reverse. Here you can see the obvious sign of a Brockage, the reverse image of the obverse of the coin. The reverse has plenty of marks and gouges, just like the obverse. This dollar coin was sent to NGC for grading, and it came back a mint state 62 on a scale from 1 to 70. It sold at Heritage Auctions for $13,200. If you think my voice is sexy, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.